You've seen this shape before, right? This six-pointed star? It's everywhere. It feels so familiar. But what if I told you that the story you probably know is just one tiny piece of a puzzle? A puzzle that stretches across the entire globe, through different religions, and even into the world of magic. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hexagram. Yeah. For most of us, when we see this symbol, our brain immediately goes to one place. The Star of David, right? The Magen David. It's become this incredibly powerful, instantly recognizable symbol of Jewish identity. And honestly, for a lot of people, that's kind of where the story stops. But what if that's just the beginning? That's where we come in. We're asking a bigger question here. What if the real story of this symbol is way older and way wider than you think? What if, in a way, this star belongs to, well, pretty much everyone? And boom, here's what I'm talking about. Just look at this. On one side, you've got this intricate design on a temple in Delhi, India. That shape is deeply woven into Hinduism. And on the other side, that's a Mormon temple in Salt Lake City, Utah. I mean, think about that. Different continents, totally different belief systems, and there it is, the exact same symbol. Okay, and the plot thickens even more when we jump into Islamic history. Check this out. On the left, that's a Moroccan coin from the late 1800s. And on the right, whoa, that's the flag of a famous Ottoman admiral, Hayreddin Barbarossa. So we're not just talking about decoration here. This was a symbol of real power, of authority. The big takeaway? This was no accident. This star, it got around. So what's going on here? How did one shape get so popular? Well, to figure that out, we've got to break it down. We need to look at its most basic form and see what ancient spiritual ideas are hiding inside. Let's talk about the shape of balance. When you strip it all away, what is a hexagram? It's just two triangles, right? Two perfect, equal-sided triangles, one flipped over the other. It's so simple, so fundamental, kind of like drawing a circle or a square. And because of that, it makes total sense that different cultures, thousands of miles and years apart, could have come up with it all on their own. And every time they did, they poured their own unique, powerful meanings into it. And man, in some Eastern religions, the symbolism gets incredibly deep. Take Hinduism, for example. There, it's called the Shatkona, and is basically a masterclass in duality. You've got the upward-pointing triangle. That's Shiva, the masculine energy, fire itself. And then its perfect opposite, the downward-pointing triangle. That's Shakti, the feminine energy, Mother Nature, the sacred. But here's the key. It's not about one being better than the other. The real magic, the real power, is when they overlap. That union is meant to represent creation itself. You know, the moment when the divine male and female energies come together in perfect harmony. It is the ultimate symbol of balance. Okay, so that's one powerful story. But at the same time, a totally separate story was unfolding in the West. Let's jump over and see how this very same shape found a home in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And this chart just lays it out so clearly. For Judaism, it's the Star of David, a shield, a marker of identity. For some Christians, it's the Star of Creation, the meeting of God and humanity. And in Islam, it's known as the Seal of Solomon, a symbol tied to the revered prophets. I mean, look at that. The same simple shape, but three totally unique, deeply spiritual meanings. So let's zoom in on the Jewish connection for a second. A lot of people think the Star of David is a more recent thing, but its roots go way, way back. The oldest piece of hard evidence we have is actually a carving on a synagogue in Galilee, and it dates to the 3rd or 4th century. That's ancient. Now, in Christianity, you'll see the hexagram pop up in different places, but the meaning is really clear with the Latter-day Saints. For them, it's all about that connection between heaven and earth. Imagine one triangle is God reaching down, and the other is humanity reaching up. Right there in the middle, where they meet, that's the symbol. It's that theme of union all over again. And in Islam, the symbol is treated with huge respect. It's called the Seal of Solomon. Now, both David and Solomon are seen as incredibly important prophets in the Quran. So for Muslims, this star isn't just a pretty design. It's a direct link to the wisdom and power of those prophets. And that's exactly why you see it on mosques, on flags, on all sorts of important artifacts. Okay, but hold on, because the story takes another turn. It's not just about mainstream religion. The hexagram has this whole other life, a secret life, you could say, in the world of magic and the occult. This is where it goes from being a spiritual emblem to a magical talisman. Alchemists loved this thing, and for them, the symbolism was super straightforward. Sound familiar? The upward triangle is fire, the downward one is water. Put them together and you get this perfect symbol for balancing opposites. It was about bringing all four of the classical elements, earth, air, fire, and water, into perfect harmony. But then, Western occult traditions took that idea and ran with it. In some forms of high magic, the hexagram is actually called the talisman of Saturn. And it wasn't just something to look at and think about. Oh no. It was seen as a real tool, a powerful device you could use in rituals to summon spiritual energies. And hey, if any of this is starting to ring a bell, there's a good reason. Remember the Da Vinci Code, the book and the movie? That whole story hinged on this exact idea, the hexagram as the sacred feminine and the divine masculine coming together. It basically took this ancient, kind of obscure magical idea and blasted it into mainstream pop culture. So we've gone from ancient spirituality to the world's biggest religions to secret magic rituals. This symbol has had one heck of a journey. And believe it or not, it's still evolving. Let's check out some of the wild and surprising ways this ancient star is being used right now. And the list is just wild. Seriously. In old school heraldry, it's just a mullet of 6 points. Theosophists use it in their seal to symbolize unity. A UFO religion called realism says it means as above, so below. For Freemasons, it's on their temples, but they let each person decide what it means to them. And maybe the best one of all. In parts of Germany, it was called the Bierstern. The beer star. It was the official sign of the Brewers Guild. So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's that the hexagram by itself doesn't actually mean anything. It's a blank canvas. It's meant whatever we've needed it to mean. Whether that's divine balance, the shield of a king, a tool for magic, or even just a sign for a really good beer. Its real power isn't in the shape itself. It's in the human stories we attach to it. And that leaves us with one last huge question to think about. How do we do that? How does the human mind take a simple shape, literally just 2 triangles, and pour so much meaning, so much power, and so much history into it? Really, how does any simple shape become something sacred?